Oh boy, welcome everybody to the Eden Army podcast. I'm your host tonight, Pete Robertucci. This is season 2, May 1st, episode 15 of the podcast, and we're coming to you live from YouTube, Facebook, X, and Kick.com. That's our favorite platform, by the way. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep Russ off of my back, please. And since our last episode, Larry Dial, thank you. Bullshite, thank you. And Guy, thank you for your resubscriptions. It keeps the lights on, I promise. Mama Gnome's in the house. Hey, guys. I hope you guys are all having fun at Mountain Readiness. It looks like there may be an Eden Army Watch Party going on, but I'm not 100% sure. So it looks like Tom might have my ugly mug up on the screen, but can't tell from here because, well, hell, I'm 800 miles away. Try to take as many classes as you guys can. Also, make sure to find this guy's booth. His name is Tony, and he is running a booth for Alpha 42. He's got some body armor and stuff like that. Tom Bryce, this is a guy I called you about. Please talk to him while you're there. And tell him Pete Robertucci said everything's going to be all right. He'll get the joke, I promise. Also, guys, don't forget to support Miss Terry with her prep-relating coloring books, as well as Russ, who's behind the scenes right now with his book 2 of the Hanging Creek Chronicles. And keep an eye on chat. Botrix will be posting those links so we can support our tribe, because that's what we do, right? Whew, that's a lot of words. A lot of damn words. But tonight we're going to be talking about World War XI. I don't know how I slept through those 9 other world wars. SCOTUS says that racially motivated gerrymandering isn't allowed and what that could potentially mean. Ron DeSantis says, screw it, don't care, I'm redistricting my state. And the Somalians in Maine are telling lawmen and women that if they continue to go after his community for fraud, guess what? He's done. Him and his community are done voting for the Democratic Party. Also, a school teacher makes an attempt on Trump. Imagine that. And of course, we've got our preps of the week. Most of you guys are probably going to say my prep of the week is going to Mountain Readiness. No, not going to cut it. I want more. So you better figure something out. You better buy something while you're there. But first, let's do this, guys. Let's conclude the discussion we started last week about dynamic entry versus limited penetration entry. Hey guys, back by popular demand, we're going to continue talking about CQB tactics and techniques, especially in regard to limited entry versus dynamic entry, and why both of these techniques should really be in your toolbox. So this is what I did. I ran the exact scenario we saw last week in that training video I showed you through a simulator, and the outcomes were, well, exactly what we expected, right? But first, let me show you the video again so it's fresh in your mind.
Charge! Reach up! It's in the breach! Fire!
Okay, there you go. So this was the outcome when I ran it through the simulator. And look, I should add that this was the best outcome I actually came up with.
Covering. Placing charge. Charge ready.
Alpha, go.
On target.
Bravo, go. Charlie, go.
Got him. On target. No tangos.
Bravo, go. Alpha, go.
All the way.
Okay, as expected, right? Number 1 guy got smoked. We all figured that he would, right? Because he chose to go right instead of left, 50-50 chance. Not that he did anything wrong. It's just that those are the odds. And they had already triggered the room. So you can see once you've lost the element of surprise, maybe you shoot a limited penetration. So here's the scenario using the exact same enemy count, exact same room, using the limited entry techniques.
On target. Placing charge. Ready to burn.
Alpha, go.
Covering.
So as a reminder, remember, we're going to try to clear as much of the room as we can from the outside before committing to the inside of the room.
Bravo, go.
On target. Tango down.
Hold on.
Alpha, go. Charlie,
target.
go. Bravo, go.
On target. Got one. Clear.
Alpha, go.
Target.
Bravo, go.
Covering. Got him.
Charlie, go.
On target.
Alpha,
There you go. So I ran that probably again 100 times. The outcomes were the same. Limited penetration, and I even added more enemy combatants on some of the limited penetration scenarios, and the outcome was always the same. So there you go, guys. Don't rush to your death using these dynamic entry techniques, especially when you've lost the element of surprise, even when you have overwhelming force. Be safe out there. There you go, Russ Sawyer. What do you think, bub? How's the event going on?
Man, it's going, and I know you are a very structured gentleman, but I have a very, very special guest with me tonight. I am training my replacement. So, without further ado,
oh boy. Oh, look at that little thing.
is
Good
Mr. Wesley rocking his EA onesie,
Oh,
and he's making his debut at Mountain Readiness. He is just having an absolute ball.
oh
we
my
want-
goodness.
We
How
wanted to do
adorable.
that for you and Melissa, and we wish
That must be the milkman's baby, because that looks nothing like bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Thank God.
Hey, this is a daddy's little boy. Let me tell you something. But we
Wow.
wanted you and Melissa to know you guys are missed. And without further ado, he's got more duty to do. So we will go back to our regularly scheduled program. Ain't that right, buddy?
Oh, what an adorable thing. Love the hairdo.
Oh,
That was
dude,
awesome.
I already told Tara that I need to see Don in that haircut.
Exactly.
Because when we were at Dixon Landing, they came over and they showed up in matching little green Magellan shirts, and it was just the cutest thing. And
Wow.
but they definitely need to have the haircut. I mean, I'll pay for it because I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But man,
Patrick said he loves our background. He seems to think everything looks like a strip club, and we have a pole in between us. That's what maybe we could do. We could put a dancer on each side of that
or
little.
a little gold pole with a little dancer at the bottom.
I tell you what, in about 3 hours, go take a picture of Mel. And what we'll do is we'll put her chest right in the middle of each side of that. And
Oh,
every now and then I'll just have her spill something on the friggin' counter, and it'll be
Oh
perfect.
yeah, absolutely. Dude, they pulled in yesterday about 10:30. Within 5 minutes, she'd already spilled something. True story.
Oh goodness, guys, I am serious. Go give Tony a shout. He's a veteran-owned business. He just got started. Go show him some love out there. I was posted up next to him at last week's HAP event, and awesome dude. Fits right in with us, as sarcastic as they come. Look, He didn't sell anything because he's not quite a salesperson. But the good news is they were so bored of looking at all his stuff. I was right next to him, so I was able to make a few sales. He was getting pissed off.
Oh, I bet.
Pick her up in a few weeks and get some. Yeah, exactly.
There's a story behind that.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
man, it's been great up here so far. The weather's been fairly nice. It rained earlier in the week, and I think I hadn't looked lately, but I think the rain is actually pushed a little bit, and we may be lucky and not having any rain tomorrow. It was pretty packed in here, man. They're stacking them up like cordwood. So
Good. Yeah, I know. The camping, it was already sold out. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, so it must be a damn, it's going to be a good event. And the weather's, like you said, the weather holds out. You guys should have fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. So, Russ, it's been an interesting week here on the
It
home
has.
front. Still battling. My defensive measures were taking hold, and I was ahead of the game. But these friggin' turtles, they counterattacked Russ. They friggin' came around from the side, and anyway, it's a lot of work. It's not easy, but it looks like we're making headway. A lot more headway than the Ukrainians are making on the Russians. Let me just say that. But we're making headway on the turtle. Well, we're just making headway on it. Let me just say that.
That's awesome. Awesome
Yeah.
news, man. Because I mean, the sooner you get that done, the sooner we can get up to Wisconsin together and damage our livers some more.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were telling me the Last Minute Heroes was playing at our favorite little pub, the Red Rock bar.
Mhm.
And man, that's my favorite band. Honestly, that's my favorite little bar band that I've seen in a long friggin'
Oh
time.
yeah, and they're absolutely awesome. And we got to look to see how it coincides with our birthday weekends. And
Well, they're
it might
also
be
doing them again our birthday weekend.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. That's going to be it.
I think Paul
It
definitely
was the first
got
time.
him for the next 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Diana, that's what I'm saying. The turtles, they outflanked me. They were, look, I know it's hard to believe, but they were a little faster than I was. But yeah, they outflanked me. They zigged, I zagged, I missed them. It's all working out at the end though.
So it's almost like you're in a world war with them. So what world war is
Almost
this for
like
you?
this must be one of the 9 world wars that I fell asleep during that Ilyan Omar was talking about. Let me run this clip real quick. It's all over the internet.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. First, I want to thank my partner in this, Senator Hirono, for her leadership in this work to repeal the outdated and dangerous Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Yeah, Pete, but they haven't always been this stupid. It's just the progressives. Let me humbly introduce evidence of Mr. Hank Johnson, Democrat from Georgia, I believe, who was worried about the security of Guam.
I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
Russ, so they've always been that stupid. This is nothing new. It's not just the progressives. What a pack of retards.
So I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, I've only had one because the other one just left my mind. So, going back to Mr. Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
can you imagine if you will, Dick Marchenko sitting in the seat of that admiral and that guy asking him that question? And I can hear Demo Dick saying, well, sir, you are talking about an iceberg. Islands come up from the bottom of the ocean and they can't flip the hell over.
I don't know how that poor admiral, he wanted to laugh bad.
He was very politically correct. He was very polite, but Demo Dick, I don't think he would have been.
No, can you imagine anybody on the current administration
raising Cain? You imagine what he'd have done?
Jesus, oh, forget it. Oh, for the love of God, and it's incredible.
It is. It's just mind blowing. Mind blowing.
I don't know how they could. Well, anyway, I don't know how you could vote for the Democratic Party right now, especially just let alone that. Now the new stuff that they're coming out with is ridiculous. So how could you the civil liberties the lawyers actually giving money to the KKK like we talked about last week, which further proves that the Democratic Party, the party that started the KKK, is still funding the KKK. I saw a meme today, Russ, where it where it was a Democrat reaching down, strangling a KKK member, and it says racism, and then above it says, "Don't die now, we need you."
That's hilarious, man. I honestly hadn't even hardly looked at my phone today, man. Being busy at Mountain Raiders, our business, but you know,
Will says that apparently I don't know if there's any validity to this other than what I'm reading in chat, that the latest shooter had strong ties to Biden, Harris, and Pelosi. Don't know about that. First I've heard. And he also says that pundits are saying it's a coordinated plot to kill the president by the Democrats. You think? You think it is? That's the problem when you start going down the road of conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Oh, it's the Jews. The Jews are doing it. No, it's the friggin' left. Don't deny your enemy. They're right here in our country, and it's radical leftism.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I mean, that radical leftism goes all the way down to state level. With, you know, when it comes to like gerrymandering and different things like that, it's just ridiculous because that's literally what it is. You can call it what you want. It's racial.
Well, it is racial, and apparently in a 6-3 decision this week, Russ, the Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's congressional map with a second majority black district as they call it an unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. Justice Alito wrote that race can't predominate in redistricting without a compelling justification under the Voting Rights Act. You know, conservatives are going to say this is a win. Liberals are going to say it guts minority voting. It goes against Voter Rights Act. I heard again, and this is like clockwork, Jim Crow 2026. Come on. Timu Obama's going off again. Stop. Give me a break. But I do have a video. Let's run that real quick and really see what it means for this upcoming election. Of course, it's all going to be in the court system for a while. Let's see what it says.
Those who prefer to use race as a primary decision-making factor were swatted down by the Supreme Court today as justices ruled that the Voting Rights Act cannot be used to justify race-based discrimination forbidden by the Constitution. Wow, what a concept. Specifically, it can't require states to draw majority-minority districts solely for that purpose. Racial gerrymanders are what the Supreme Court struck down in Louisiana with today's 6-3 decision. As Justice Samuel Alito explained, writing for the majority, quote, allowing race to play any part in government decision-making represents a departure from the constitutional rule that applies in almost every other context. In concurring opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas underscored the problem with the creation of these districts with lines drawn based on race. He said this court should never have interpreted the Voting Rights Act of 1965 to effectively give racial groups an entitlement to roughly proportional representation. The result of that interpretation was a systematic division of the country into electoral districts along racial lines, something Justice Thomas calls repugnant to any nation that strives for the ideal of a colorblind institution. He added today's decision should be largely put an end to this disastrous misadventure in voting rights jurisprudence. Indeed, racism is bad. Whatever good intentions existed, the Voting Rights Act was twisted to require the same race-based discrimination it was supposed to prevent. The Supreme Court may have put the specific question to rest, but their decision opened the door for even more redistricting across the South and in states where majority-minority districts were mandated. This could further shake up November's midterms. It might make it more difficult for Democrats to take control of the House.
And before Democrats start losing their mind about it, let's take into consideration this is what the Northeast looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a Republican populace of anywhere between 31 and 49% within that region, and now that 51% Democrat is taking over the entire House. There's not one district in the Northeast right there, minus that little lip in Long Island there. But what it's really going to do, and what it could look like here in the South is what it could look like. This is the way the South is going to look, because all of these racially look over here, Russ.
Yeah,
look at how they gerrymandered this corridor.
Absolutely. Well, and if you look at South Carolina, the 7 congressional districts, what you're seeing in South Carolina is Congressional District 6 under Jim Clyburn, which is the district I live in. And if you were to zoom in on that, and literally how it is literally gerrymandered like a jigsaw puzzle, it's unbelievable. And
so go ahead.
I looked it up. South Carolina is not pursuing any redistricting before the 26th election. They have a 6-1 really makes sense.
Right.
But there are some that are claiming they need to do it anyway because of Congressional District 6. But
not only that, but now they're going to have to do something, because if it was proven that it was racially predominant, that they redistricted in such a way in 2024, then it's the rule of the land. Now it's the law of the land. They have to now reschedule it. And I can tell you, every Republican lawmaker anywhere in the state or anywhere in the country is going to look to them, just like they look to Louisiana. Louisiana was the precipice behind all of this because of the way they did this corridor right here.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it was South Carolina. This was redistricted in 24.
Right, 2024. Yep.
Yep, that was the redistricting done in 2024. So they're like, hey, it ain't broke right now. We ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah, but I don't. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that the GOP is going to even allow that. They're going to say that it's unconstitutional. It doesn't even have to be right now in the South Carolina lawmakers' hands.
Right.
It could go on a national level. So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. You just never know. I mean, it blows my mind that how the lines are drawn. It just doesn't make any sense. And then Virginia tried their thing up there, and it's not going well. Their state government has stepped in. Their state Supreme Court has stepped in and said, hold your horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because this is a Republican heavy, this is a red heavy Supreme Court. And I mean, Florida's in on it,
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Even before the ruling came down from SCOTUS, Ron DeSantis was already, and he has now. We have a constitutional. We can't actually redistrict under our state constitution. We're really not allowed to. The way Ron DeSantis has done it. However, it passed the House and it passed Florida State Senate, so it's a done deal. And he did that prior to the SCOTUS ruling coming out, so that gives him more firepower now. And
now,
this is what
does that have now? Does it, like other things in Florida, does that have to go to the people's vote?
No, it does not. They're not, and that's part of the arguments here in Florida from the Democrats, saying the people didn't vote on this. People never voted on redistricting. Never. We've never voted in our entirety in redistricting. I would say that Virginia had that actually on their docket. That's why they did that. Why did they put that on their docket? Because they knew they had the numbers. So, and I don't know how Virginia is going to, now that's being fought in courts, but I don't know that they're going to be able to do anything under this racial redistricting because of that it went to the populace under vote. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see how it plays out. There's still other court rulings that who knows, that's going to be blocked until after midterms anyway. So there's no telling. But what it looks like to me is, looks like the Republicans with the plausible redistricting are going to gain just in the Southeast 13 additional seats. They're gaining 4 in Florida already, hands down. That's happening. So we'll see. And I guess Ron DeSantis and Timu Obama had a little bit of words over the internet. So let's look. Oh, Timu Obama, you do not want to mess with Ron DeSantis. I promise you that. He will beat you bloody. Let's see here. We're going to run this one.
To Governor Ron DeSantis. All right, Governor, before that announcement, your friend Hakeem Jeffries had a warning for you. Watch.
Our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now.
Well, Governor, said that too early. Are you frightened tonight?
Well, we will not be cowed by threats from some machine politician from Brooklyn, although I have invited Hakeem Jeffries down to Florida to campaign because he claims that somehow Democrats are going to be able to do well in Florida as a result of redistricting. I will pay for him to come down. We'll put him up in the Florida governor's mansion. We'll take him around the state. Nothing would be better for Florida Republicans than for voters in Florida to see Hakeem Jeffries as the alternative. And so I would welcome his presence in Florida, and I know it would benefit our Republicans.
What do you say, Governor, to even some Republicans say, well, you know, Texas shouldn't have started this. Now it's just going to, it spirals, snowballs, and this is just going to be a complete mess. What do you say to them?
Well, look, that's a separate question, I think, than Florida, because this has been a long-standing issue that we've had since I've been governor. I vetoed the legislature's maps in 2022. We ended up doing a compromise map, got rid of a racially gerrymandered district in North Florida, but we still had one in Southern Florida, which I don't think is constitutional. This map removes that racial gerrymander. We are also in a situation in Florida. We've had a massive population boom. So we have congressional districts. So we had District 14, for example, had about 100,000 votes less than District 12, right, next to it, because we've had growth in certain parts of the state. So I've always wanted to do this. I think the numbers justify it, but that's really independent of Virginia or any of these other things. It's the right thing to do for Florida.
Have you noticed all the articles that seem to be coming out, Governor, like now Florida's too expensive? Young people aren't going to Florida because it's too expensive. They can't afford the insurance out of control, property's too expensive. Need property tax cuts. And they're saying, Governor, give us the property tax cuts.
Well, we are going to do that. So, well, first of all, we have no income tax. The states that they tout have stiff income taxes. If you're a young person growing up in Florida, we have in-state tuition is the lowest in the country for universities, which I think is really important. And our sales tax doesn't even apply to necessities like groceries and medications. And so from government perspective, we've had people's backs. Now we are going to go and get an amendment on the ballot. Voters have to approve it, which will say your homestead residents, and Floridians can choose a homestead, that's going to be exempt from property tax. So we're working on how to structure that. I got to get the votes in the legislature, but I guarantee you that will be on the ballot.
Yeah, so that would be huge. I don't know how the different municipalities are going to deal with that, getting rid of the property tax, but
yeah,
they can figure it out.
But hey, if the population speaks,
Yeah, it is what it is. Just like the Virginia redistricting, right? The population spoke, the voters spoke. He did go on to say in that interview that between the last fiscal year and this fiscal year, the municipalities have been charging 44% more for property taxes, and he goes on to pretty much slam them to what the hell are you doing with all the money? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You know, I mean, heck, you understand of all people what the county money is taking from you for various BS.
yeah, rat
things.
bastards. Patrick, you know, it's funny you say that because I think about that every time she comes on. And usually when I pull a clip from her, it's a freeze frame. And she looks like, what was that damn horse? Mr.
Mr.
Ed.
Ed.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed.
I like her though. She's very articulate. She's a very smart lady.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But and you're right, Fib. The Illinois is one of the most gerrymandered states in the republic right now. So kind of ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Well, everybody wants to talk about. Let's see what Eden Army says. Because I told Ron. That's. I'm reading chat, guys. Hang tight. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything, Russ. Somebody had something else I wanted to talk about.
Let's see here.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about these liberals saying things were staged, and I'm going to talk to it in particular about the latest assassination attempt on Donald Trump and some of his staff while they were at a correspondence. You know what I was thinking about with this though, Russ? What better place for this to happen than in a spot where these leftist correspondents were there and they got to see firsthand what it's like to live with their party. Right? This is your party. This is what's happening. They're all running around yelling. Hell, one lady was stealing champagne bottles.
Well, and that's left. That's where I was going to go. Obviously, they didn't really care because there had to be more than one because that lady didn't have 140 something bottles on her. Because there was like 180 bottles bought for this thing, and they only accounted for like 40 some odd. So I mean, there were a whole lot of people walking out of there with looking like they would just come off the street and trying to rob the Dollar General.
Look, Russ, I ain't gonna lie. If a shooting occurred when I'm at any party with Tom, and Tom runs off, I'm grabbing the double. It's happening.
Well, that I'll agree. And speaking of, man, you'll see it in prep of the week.
I saw
We've killed quite a few dead soldiers thus far. Tom's been here 3 days, and I think we're down 3. It's been a good week thus far. And,
you're not wasting any of it on Patrick 7, are you? Because he clearly can't hang with the gray beard.
Patrick has been being good. He's not trying to hang with Tiny. He's not being fed by Jason, so Jason can try to hang with you.
What about Jello shots? Is he staying away from the Jello shots?
He's been doing a couple of Jello shots, but he's not being overly fed them. And he has been catching all kinds of hell still from last month, like when he was back here in October. So he's been a good boy.
So. Y'all take care of Dan the man while
Dan the man
he's there. He can get a little wild and crazy, so kind of keep him under wraps a little bit.
Man, he was dancing on the tables last night.
I doubt that. I doubt that very seriously. Let me see the chat I'm missing here. Guys, I'm going to run this video, this Trump assassination attempt. I want you to look at a few things. I want to have a discussion on how you think the Secret Service did, and do 7 as stayed upright and being gay as gay can be perfect. That's awesome. Look at the response for the Secret Service. Tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. But let's run this clip, Russ.
Officials say fired shots after charging through the security checkpoint at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner. Is still in police custody, and he has been identified as 31-year-old Cole Thomas. Cole Thomas,
white Christian male, married.
Allen of California. A source familiar with the matter tells CNN that the suspect's family alerted police about the writings indicating anti-Trump ideology. Jen Sullivan has the details on what happened.
Serious security concerns are being raised after this surveillance video shows an armed man charging through a Secret Service checkpoint at the Washington Hilton Saturday night before opening fire. This as hundreds of journalists and high-profile politicians, including the president and first lady, gathered in a nearby ballroom for the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner.
It does appear the suspect was targeting members of the administration.
Inside the ballroom, guests could hear what sounded like shattered glass and shots fired. President Donald Trump whisked off the stage by Secret Service agents.
And it was pretty loud noise. It was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area.
People scrambling to safety, ducking under tables, including the evening's headliner, mentalist Oz Perlman, who says he was performing a trick for the president and first lady when they heard.
Let me just say, probably the worst mentalist in the world if he couldn't figure out that this was coming, but carry on.
And Trump was pulled to the floor beside him.
We just look at each other for about 2 seconds. And my mind, obviously, this is like a huge adrenaline, just like, oh no, are we about to die?
Police say the suspect was armed with a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives. CNN's Wolf Blitzer was just feet away from the man when he started shooting.
I hear gunshots, boom, boom, really loud. I mean, it was so loud, it was awful.
Authorities say the 31-year-old suspect was believed to be a hotel guest, and that all names in the hotel were run through government databases as part of a regular security protocol, according to a law enforcement source.
We're going to learn from it, but make no mistake about it, the Secret Service did their jobs last night.
So the guy took a train from California to Chicago to DC because he knew he could get the firearms. Firearms that, by the way, were purchased in California. So that's why you're not hearing well, first of all, you're never going to hear the gun control speech because it was gun violence on a Republican. But that's why he actually took the train, because the lax security policies on Amtrak. I'm not saying Amtrak, on the rail system in the United States.
Amtrak.
Okay. Russ said it twice. Got it. Here's my thought process on why JD Vance got moved faster than Trump. Two reasons. First of all, Trump doesn't want Secret Service right behind him while he's doing these kind of things. So obviously they came from the side. JD Vance obviously he's a little sprier than Trump, for one thing. That's why Trump ended up hitting the ground. I think that they were just closer to him, and his security contingent was just closer. They were just closer. So I don't think it was intentional that they moved him first. I think it was just a victim. He was just a victim of circumstances at that point.
I'll agree with that.
But let's see. I'm just reading through if anybody's got any questions about the security, because they had to wait until Trump's entire evac team was there and waited for the guys to come up front before they could move him. Yeah, they got to put that human shield up, right? And they came out pretty quick. I mean, for all intents and purposes. Well, let's talk about the layers of protection. Now, this wasn't an actual Secret Service event, so I think the outer perimeter was handled by DC cops and stuff like that. And then the middle perimeter, of course, was handled by Secret Service. Looks like right after the checkpoint there, magnetometers, and then of course the tight security was right on top of Trump and JD Vance as soon as it happened. I thought it was a good job. I don't see too much. I think as it goes on, I think you're going to see that they need to open up that perimeter a little wider for the Secret Service. But look, they kept them within the middle perimeter, within that middle halo. So they did a good job. He never got there. One of those Secret Service agents took a shot in his vest, buckshot apparently, and of course there was speculation that the one Secret Service lady shot. It was friendly fire incident. No, they found out it was a piece of buckshot. So I think overall it went well. And to your point, Diana, where they saying, I don't know if you were talking about this particular thing, but people are saying that this is what they do, right? This is all staged because Trump wants a new ballroom. Trump's going to get a new ballroom. It's paid for, not by taxpayer dollars either. But no, you're not going to let a Secret Service agent get shot for a new friggin' ballroom. These people are psychotic. Now, would they do something like that? Yeah, they probably would. Sure, they probably would. Like Nancy Pelosi allowing everybody to storm the Capitol, denying security, denying the National Guard, so Secret Service can storm the Capitol. Will a Democratic FBI have more than 42 undercover agents in there that were actually promoting the violence, promoting going into the Capitol? Yeah, They would do that. Democrats will do that, no doubt. But was it done in this case for a ballroom? Maybe not so much. My opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you think something different, Russ.
No, I'm 100% right there, man. I just can't see the Republican Party doing something like that, especially for something as mundane as a ballroom. Now, I agree with the ballroom. It'll be a much more secure area for everybody involved. They could hold that press correspondence thing there, and they would all be a lot more secure. But they could also hold head of states, everything else. All those centers where all of those people are much more secure.
What I told Melissa is I said, look, do everything until that ballroom is built. Do everything on the White House lawn, whether rain or shine. Do this correspondence dinner in the middle of the rain, right in the friggin' lawn. Then guess who's going to want a fucking ballroom? Yeah, all those sons of bitches. Pissed Off Arbor says 100% friendly fire happened. Don't know. That's not what they're saying. Let's see. One woman in particular was the heavyset woman couldn't reholster her weapon. Okay.
He had mentioned earlier that he thought he had heard that those DEI hires from up in PA were still on the details. Now, I honestly cannot see them still being on the presidential detail.
No, I don't think they're on the
They may
detail.
be
Remember
still employed
another
with the
thing
Secret
Secret Service does? Secret Service also does counterfeiting and stuff like that. So I think, they might still be employed. I don't think they're on any personal protection detail at all. Seven says he's going to send me a video. Good. Yeah, there is a video of the muzzle flash. You're right. The female cop shot 3 times, but there was an empty cartridge in the pump shotgun as he comes around. And I think they said that they actually pulled a fragment, one of the pellets. So I don't know. Look further into that. Will brings up a good point. Something I didn't pull today. But, we had these No Kings rally, right? No kings, no kings, no kings. Democrats all stood up for an actual freaking king, and they clapped.
Yeah.
Now, these are the same Democrats.
For 3 minutes.
Yeah, these are the same Democrats that couldn't stand for the Angel families, couldn't stand for the poor kid who just wanted to be a Secret Service agent, who has since passed, by the way, couldn't stand for veterans who got their legs blown off, that still he was able to stand to get the medal pinned on him. These are the same Democrats, but the Democrats who promote no kings stood up for the actual freaking king.
Yeah, well, and speaking of kings, Trump went on 60 Minutes not long, like almost right after, or with an interview right after this last assassination attempt, and the interviewer was like, the No Kings and the No Kings rally is, well, I'm sorry, if I was a king, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, and I was like, gotcha.
Yeah,
and
he was even the day of the meeting, he put out a meme, or actually a picture, and he highlighted it, 2 kings. It was just him and the actual king, right? Oh,
Yeah.
they lost their shit. He's a master of trolling.
and King Charles, man, he was given as good as he got during that dinner. And I'm going to answer Rev real quick. Rev, I have, and yes, it works wonderfully. So I got a new Freedom Seed dispenser for Teresa, and the accoutrement came from Rev, and it has worked absolutely great.
Is Rev's not up there with you guys? No, he couldn't make it this
No,
year,
he
right?
didn't. He couldn't make it this year. But I mean, we're talking about all of these different, threats against democracy, threats against the president, threats against everything else. Even the Somalis are getting in on it, man.
Look,
You
even
know?
the Somalis are pissed off at the Democrats. Why? They're not actually pissed off at the Democrats. What they are mad about is the Republicans are going after the Somalis who are committing fraud, not just in Minnesota, not just in California, not just the Leering Center, not just the hospices, but even up in Maine. Remember that map I showed you, completely blue? Even up in Maine, they're being forced to investigate these illegal aliens for fraud. And this Somalian said what everybody knew, but he said it aloud.
Mohammed. I'm speaking today on behalf of the Somali community in Lewiston. Some of you sitting here today, we voted for you. We elected you to protect our community interests, not creating division or go after one elected member from our community. This narrative, if this narrative continues, our community will be forced to re-examine our relationship or political relationship, including our relationship with the Democratic Party and who will be voting in the future. This is not a threat.
So he said the quiet part aloud, Russ.
Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, just maybe, he went to a Leering Center and he got Democrat and Republican and he's following Leon. I mean, she's talking about World War XI. Maybe he just got a little mixed up. I'm just going to put that out there. Maybe
he was a little confused. The great part about that Somalian that they chose to speak to the Democratic Party was their brightest. That was their brightest guy. That's the one they picked.
You're saying he was the valedictorian of the Leering
He was
Center?
the valedictorian in Somalia. You know, he's the captain now, right? He's the guy.
Oh my goodness. Lord, I wish you were here, brother. We'd had a ball with this one here.
Yeah, he did say he tried to say the Democratic, but it's a Freudian slip right there, or a fib.
Well,
good stuff. So guys, get your preps of the weekend because that's going to come up next.
Yeah, we only got 10. We've got 10 in so far. I believe it's 9 or 10, somewhere in there.
Guys, if you got any question about that video, that limited entry video or stuff like that, it doesn't have to be this week, but next week, if you want to know more tactics, have any concerns, just replay the video, or what I'll end up doing is I'll post a video on the social media, the one I showed you guys, and then you can come up with some questions and stuff like that. Definitely something to learn though. Let's see what Rev says. The Arab school, hold on, it's going fast now. The Arab school near our house in Minnesota got shut down because of 100% on. Oh, they got 100% on a state test. Yeah, don't think they did. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Well, and Spec Ops Viking, who's also known as Not Russ, posted, if the planet had a butthole, Mogadishu would be the bunker center of it.
Spec Ops would be the one to know that. I guarantee you that.
Yes, he would. He and I had a little chat about that today, as a matter of fact.
Let's see. Will wants to know, why haven't they indicted Omar or Tampon Tim? Don't know. They're untouchable, right? Corruption goes on both sides of the aisle. Why didn't the Democrats release the Epstein files when they had them for 4 years, right?
Yep.
They was release the Epstein files. This administration has released more of the Epstein files than anybody, and they're saying still release the Epstein files. Democrats had it for 4 years. Don't you think that if the orange man was diddling a kid or something in the Epstein files, they would have released it immediately? They tried to kill him 3 times. They indicted him for a number of different things that weren't felonies. They brought up a civil case against him, which was overturned, by the way. It's all bullshit.
It is. Well, we're up to 12, man. So why don't we run the beautiful bean footage?
Got it.
It's time for this week's prep of the week.
Russ, I will start it off. What was my prep of the week? Oh, I did order some more peptides. That way I have those through vacation, or if I ever get up to Wisconsin. What else did I do? I did something else. I can't remember.
Did y'all train this week? Did y'all train?
We train every week. Well, actually, I didn't train. I just let the knuckleheads go out there and train because I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over again. So I said, y'all go train.
Well, let's see. What did I do this week? Aside from being up here at lovely Mountain Readiness, I bought a brand new 6x24 by 50 scope for my 6.5 Creedmoor. And for those of you that want to jump on the Creedmoor's a piece of crap round, go ahead and jump. I haven't missed a deer yet with it. So
Well, yeah, same scope I have, and I got it on the gun I got from I traded with Tom
with
for.
Tom.
So I'm
Okay.
definitely bringing that up to the
Yep.
Northwoods, and we're gonna do some long range shooting. I've never really done something like that. I want to dive into that a little bit.
Absolutely, and us having access to that 1,000-yard range, we might as well use it.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that's something that we could.
Patrick's.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that's something we could do relatively easily and not have to worry about anything. So go ahead. What does Patrick have to say?
I was gonna start us off. Patrick 7 says his prep of the week that he bought a dozen flashbangs.
I saw that. Hey, Patrick, pull the pin on one of them and set it in front of that viewer party right now. Let's see what happens. But when you do, grab the double.
Fire ban. But having said all that, you know how we have the raffle table, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a flashbang on the raffle table.
Grab it. Go win that thing. I got a bear and some turtles.
Yep. Someone donated that.
Nice. Guys, what was I gonna say? Well, I'll just pull Tom's up. Need to replace 3 bottles of double oak that Russ drank, and so we need to replace them for Wisconsin. Yes,
Okay.
you definitely do.
To correct that, that would be Russ helped drink.
Met P7 and bought flashbangs also, Mike says.
Yeah, he bought flashbangs. Kelly says he drank your share of the double.
It's a lie. He doesn't drink bourbon. I don't believe him. Let's see what else we got here.
But this is what he actually did. He bought a replacement truck at Mountain Readiness. We're waiting for it to be delivered. So that makes it a positive for him being able to go to Mountain Readiness, Montana. So he will be headed up, and so we're 3 out of 4 solid to the best of my knowledge. So
perfect. Russ, you know what? I forgot to run a clip. And I wanted to mention this. I'm not going to run the clip, but there was another terrorist attack in the UK, guys. And we'll get back to this prep of the week, but this is something that we need to look out for because it pertains to what's going on here in the States also. There was a terrorist attack in the UK where some knucklehead, he was a Somalian, if I'm not mistaken, ended up just walking up to a couple Jewish people and stabbing the hell out of them. But what I also found interesting when I was diving into this is the amount of churches and synagogues that are being burnt down in the UK and in Europe in general. So then I looked back and I said, well, let me look at what's going on in the United States, and a proportionally large number of churches and synagogues are being burned to the ground or vandalized or violence outside of them in Canada, which makes sense, right? Because there was a large influx of jihadists that were allowed into Canada. So I didn't want to get off traffic, but or off topic there. But guys, start looking into some of these religious-based crimes, and you're going to start seeing them more and more here in the United States. So be cognizant of that when you're going to your places of worship. Anyway, carry on.
Absolutely. So, guy's prep of the week, he went through austere vehicle repair. AR lower now that austere vehicle repair was with tactical riflemen. AR lower build with black armor rifles or black armor guns, excuse me, and bug out vehicle class. I'm assuming that was with Brian Loftus, our good friend over at BS Survival Gear BSO. He took those classes today at Mountain Readiness. He got some training in while he was here, and that's what it's about, right?
That's what it's all about. Diana says she added a few more bucks to her go bags. That's always good to have. And Rev say here.
Rev says his prep of the week was he watched last week's show and also prayed that all of the Eden Army would ask Jesus to come into their hearts. Now, I don't know whether that was just as a general thing or based off of last week's show. I'll have to go back and watch last week's show to find out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think last week's show was anything bad.
Yeah, I don't think we're that bad. And remind me to talk to you offline about something in regards to that.
Okay, sounds good. Will says he bought a Tomahawk, a copy of the Winkler Psyoc used in terminal list. He sent me a picture of that. It looks pretty bad to the bone.
Now,
isn't Franklin? What now? Speaking of Tomahawks, Isn't
That
Franklin
thing
doing
is
something over
that.
there?
Yep. Franklin and Bob Toombs have collaborated along with Gahagan Customs, and they have a tomahawk that they are giving away. It's the Mad Mick. It is very post-apoc looking. It is legit looking. I
Very
know him
cool.
and Franklin have a video out on it on Facebook and YouTube and probably Instagram, and we're raffling it off tomorrow night.
Holy crap! Speaking of raffles, I gotta ask the chat an opinion on something. I may have acquired the actual cooler that Lala has been dragging around for 20 years, and I was just gonna do like a subscriber giveaway type thing, just throw a whole bunch of swag in it, right, and give it away. But I'm gonna leave it up to chat on what you want to do with this thing. But it's the actual. Ever since I've known Lala, he's been dragging this cooler around, limping with this thing. And hell, maybe I'll fill it through with a bunch of Mick Ultras or something. But anyway, you guys decide what you want to do with that thing. It's on my porch, and I'm ready to get rid of that.
You know, my Russ's personal opinion on this.
Mhm.
What if we raffle it off and we take the money and maybe give it to a local charity down in Florida? Maybe like Melissa, I know Melissa goes over to the Humane Society and works with the dogs and walks the dogs. Give it to something like that, or if we can think of another charity that would be more fitting, do something like that. That's just Russ's 2 cents.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's gonna be whatever you guys want to do with it. But it's kind of cool. It's all duct taped together and shit like that. And I think you might
That's
have even
awesome.
signed it. I don't know. Will says he hooked up with some farmers who deliver fresh food. Met them at the HAP event with Pete. Yeah, those folks are really cool. They for clinical purposes only. If you want unpasteurized milk, for research, not for human consumption, obviously.
Yeah.
But for research, they had stuff like that there. So that was kind of cool.
that was kind of cool. Fireman Ed, his prep of the week is he said mountain readiness, baby. He's him and his lovely wife Danny have come over, and a big shout out to Danny and all the other ladies in the tribe that helped Teresa prep the shrimp and grits. They prepped 20 pounds of shrimp for this thing, and all the other stuff getting it ready. And aside from some heating issues with getting the grits ready, everything was ready, and it turned out absolutely tremendous. I bet you we fed over 60 people last night.
Very cool. Mama Gnome says she got some pokey things and some slingshots.
Yep, they're doing
Cool.
there was a slingshot class going on here today. Evidently, I'm assuming, and I don't know. And Mama Gnome, ring out if you know for sure. You can tell us better than me. I don't know whether it was homemade slingshots or was it actually like slingshots that you buy in the store and stuff like that nowadays. So I'm not sure. I had 100 of them, of the homemade ones, when I was growing up.
Yep. Russ, what's Guy doing over there?
Oh,
Cheating on me?
He's cheating on you. Franklin is here, having a blast. When I walked in to come get ready for the podcast, he was sitting there, had a drink he had a drink in his hand. I think it might have been a soda. I'm not sure. I didn't look that close. And a cheeseburger in the other, and having a blast. We're all here, hanging, having a good time, getting that training in.
Mama Gnome says it might be a good idea to saving hollers as an auction deal.
Oh, very good.
Guy
Yeah,
says he
that's
likes
true.
the idea of the Humane Society. Let's see right there. That's that one. Rev says he has a pocket rocket. I don't know what that means.
He said a wrist rocket.
This is an interesting idea too.
Where are we at here?
It's on the screen.
Yeah, and if we did that and took it up with us to the North 40, we could
do that long range with it. No, I couldn't do that. That's an iconic thing for Lala. Although, we could video it for clicks, but no. The real life Daryl should drag it around for a couple of years. Yeah, but then I'd have to develop a limp and shit. It just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. So
speaking of that, Ed, don't forget. Did you remember to bring that thing? And if Guy and Chrissy could bring it back for me, that would be awesome. Also,
and who is it? There's somebody that is headed your way. Because he always misses us because down in Florida because we're usually up in Wisconsin.
yeah,
And
I got a message from him today.
okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna hook up and eat lunch. Mr. Wagner says he built 2 mesh core nodes and set an AI agent to work on prepping issues. Set up an AI. I want information on that one, Ben. That
Yeah,
sounds
absolutely.
interesting to me.
Yeah, he just pulled in like an hour ago.
Look, he's already tuning in. Battle Gnome took the bug out vehicle class. How was that, guys? How did Brian do? I don't think I've ever seen him teach a class. Taken a lot of classes with him. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job for what I understand. He had a heck of a crowd around him. Because I could see him from where we're sitting, and he had a heck of a crowd around him.
Skidmore said he's starting 6 gallons of Lambrusco.
Ooh. I know who was it? Spec Ops picked up a coffee plant starter and a black tea plant. Now, the black tea plant is good to go. It will grow in the region he's at and will survive will survive the North Carolina winters. The coffee plant he's going to have to keep and maintain in his greenhouse. But
Yeah, I
he's going to give it a whirl. He's going to give it a whirl.
Gotcha now. I gotcha, Rev. I hear you. Let's see, Russ, let's wind this thing down. Everyone's ready to get to the party. I'm gonna let you do your final words.
Roger that. Well, guys, we're having a great time up here at Mountain Readiness, and if you weren't able to attend, you're missing a great event. Bob Toombs, who has been so busy, you notice he didn't pop in tonight. He's probably asleep if we're lucky. He got home at 5 o'clock this morning and was up at 6 to come back. It is what it is. That's how Bob works. So if you guys are here, make sure you thank Bob for putting on such a great event. Get your training, folks. Keep our community safe and sound. Keep us all together. And Pete, other than that, we'll see you next week, brother.
All right, thanks, Russ. Guys, you look, you're in the perfect spot right now. If you're in that viewer party and you're at Mountain Readiness, go take some classes. There's a wealth of knowledge at all of these events, especially there at Mountain Readiness. Get the knowledge, get it while you can. Be safe. Can't be safe. No, be dangerous. Thanks for watching the Eden Army podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. Can't be safe. Be dangerous.